Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast, Friday night, and I am here with you. And as is usual, I did not know what I wanted to talk about today until my state gave me something wonderful to chew on. Yes, it did. It is sad that my terrible, broken state of New York does give me so many times, so many things to talk about again and again and again. And it did today. New York State decided that it was going to sentence Donald Trump this morning. Nice. There we go. We have decided we're going to sentence Donald Trump. And I said long time ago, I said, if there's a problem sentencing the guy who's going to be president, if that's a problem, why are we even doing this trial? Why is this even happening, right? If that's the issue, right? If you're going to tell me that, okay, why are we even doing this trial? And I said that openly more than once. And people are like, wait a minute, Larry, that actually makes sense. Yeah, it does. So if this is this important, that this guy needs to go to jail because he's an evil, bad guy, okay, got it? Then we got to do a trial. Not just that, they told us, you heard this. Literally, the H-man with the funny mustache from Germany. I don't want to say it now because I'm going to get in trouble on YouTube. But you know who I'm talking about, the H-man himself. That's who Donald Trump is. They told us this. They're still saying it. Literally, the H-man from Germany. That's him. Well, from Austria, just to be clear. Austrian, not German. Austrian. He's the H-man. Well, if it's true, and he is the H-man, as they say, why wouldn't you jail him? It's a serious question. If you knew in, say, 1933, before he takes over, and he's in your courtroom, and you know he's the H-man, and you know what he's going to do, like you could look in the future and see it, wouldn't you put him in jail? You think you would, right? He's the H-man. Put him in jail. I'm going to keep him out. He's going to go kill the world and blow everybody up and start World War III and all the things they told us. If that is true, isn't that judge a terrible judge? I'm asking that question. If it is true what they said, if it's true, why didn't they lock him up? They've been telling us he's the worst thing in the world, destroy the world, blow everybody up, World War III, right? Literally H-man, literally. They said that more than once. He's a National Socialist, American Socialist, white supremacist. He's all the bad things. And you had a chance to lock up the H-man. You had the shot this morning. You could put him away, in theory, for 20 years. They could have, in theory. That was never going to happen, but I'm saying. But if he's the H-man, shouldn't you? He's not, is he? He's not, is he? He never was he? He's a fascist. Put him in jail. Right? He's the worst guy in the world. Okay. You've been telling me that. Put him in jail. Right? No, they didn't. Nobody even asked for it. I didn't see a bunch of Democrats or a bunch of independents or a bunch of hardcore Republican establishment guys screaming and yelling, put him in jail. He's the H-man. He's the worst thing in the world. Regular people were saying that, obviously, but nobody of any political status was saying to do that. They never said that. Not once. I didn't hear one person say that. Got to put him in jail for 20 years. He's Hitler. I didn't hear that. Did you? Because it wasn't real. That's the part that bothers me. So you might say, okay, great. Larry, I got it. So it was all a joke or whatever, all wrong or all a lie, all just a reason to get power. Okay, great. So why do this then? Why do this? Well, there's several reasons why. Number one, the hope, as I said, literally literally months ago, years ago, actually now, I said they're going to go after Trump. The goal is not to put him in jail. That's not the goal. It never was. The Democrats wanted him to run. They did, because the Democrats honestly believed, and if you look at it, you can tell, the Democrats honestly believed that he was easy to beat because Biden beat him in 2020. Clearly, that was incorrect, but that is what they believed. And if you look at what they were saying, was what they believed it. They thought, yes, we got to keep Trump because he's beatable. We beat him before. We'll get him. And if he's in prison, we're screwed. So no prison. But if he's going to court and he's wasting money on the court, then he's not wasting money on this and we can beat him. They honestly believed that. That was the entire plan. And to be forward, that plan actually, they actually executed that plan perfectly. Now, it didn't work, but the plan was executed, right? They wanted him to be in court. They wanted him to be spending time and money and energy. They wanted him to get a mugshot. They wanted all of that. They believed that was going to work. Clearly, they were wrong. But again, you can see it. They want it to happen, and they were effective on that. The plan was executed. It just failed. It was a bad plan, clearly, but that was the plan. That's why none of this matters. That's why the whole plan was, that's why the whole idea was to get him convicted on as many counts as possible. So it sounds bad. He's convicted on 34 felonies, but it's really just one thing. It's really one thing, but 34, but it's really one thing. So you might say, okay, that's okay. No worries, Larry, because this is proven, because what they did, they gave him the thing which is called, so if I get it right, unconditional discharge or an unconditional release, however you want to call it, either one of those two. What does that mean? It means unconditional, which means he's off and you can't come back and charge him again, and you can't punish him or sentence him later. You basically just got a stamp of you're a bad guy, have a nice day, right? That's it. Now, that's very rare in New York State. That's hardly ever done, but it's legal. You can do it. A judge can decide, hey, the trial itself was bad or whatever. The trial was, you spent time in jail maybe before the trial, so the time served is basically okay. Whatever. The judge can do that if they want to. They rarely do it. It's very rare, but it did happen. And I said, well, Larry, why? This is a critical piece for you to understand. What the judge said. And what the judge said really, a judge spent time talking. What the judge said was very important. The judge said several things. Number one, the judge said how important it was for all the people who worked on it, and how important it was that they went through the process, and how important it was that the jury went through everything legally, blah, 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 and came to a decision. You might go, Larry, that's nothing. That's just, no. That's trying to protect it from an appeal. I'm not joking. He's saying everything was perfect. Everything was great. Protecting himself from being reversed, protecting the jury, protecting the entire system. That's why he said it. So the first thing he said was, everything was done by the book. It's all good. No appeal to be seen here. First thing he said. Yes, so he wants no appeal. Trump's going to appeal, and he's got a shot. He absolutely has a shot. But all I'm saying is that's the first thing the judge did. There's the second thing, though. He tried to explain why he did this unconditional discharge. He didn't go, well, the charge was kind of trumped up. This was kind of a political piece. He didn't say any of that. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say, we probably shouldn't have done this. Guys come president of the United States. Didn't say that. He didn't say we probably should have done 34 counts. It's kind of bullshit. He didn't say that. He didn't say what some people have been charged with as a misdemeanor. We made 34 felonies for this guy. He didn't say that. No. Some of you think this is some kind of validation of Trump being the victim. No, that's not what he said. If you heard what he said was, no. Me giving this sentence does not take away from the severity of the crime that was committed, that the jury came to a decision with. Oh, no, that's what he said. He said, don't think because I did this cheesy sentence that Trump isn't a horrible human being worthy of pain and distrust. No. Trump is, in this guy's mind. Of course, that's what he said. He said, because of the situation with what the Supreme Court said, their ruling on the presidential immunity that this is the only thing I can do. That's what he said. Big difference. Big difference. So anyone who's sitting there going, well, the judge realized it was a BS case. No, you didn't listen. Anyone who said that didn't listen. I listened. And I've been in court before. You guys know, one of the things I've done is I've done literally consulting with defense attorneys, right? That judge did not say this was all BS. I don't know why we did this. No. He said Trump deserves, not those words he did, but he did. He said, again, just be clear, the sentence I'm giving is not because this is all trumped up in BS. I mean, it is, but he didn't say that. What he said is, he literally said it, the severity of this crime. So he's like, Trump's a bad guy. He's terrible. But look, Supreme Court, what are you going to do? This is all I can do. That's what he actually said. So for those of you who think somehow Trump is vindicated, not according to that judge, that's not true. So I say, well, Larry, why do you care about this? Why does this matter? Why does this matter? Several reasons. One, this did not push away lawfare. Number one, it did not do that. Number two, the judge did not fall back and say things and recount what he said. Remember, the judge and the prosecutors, what they were saying, everything that Donald Trump was saying, his language for him and his team, their words, dangerous for the system. Yes. So they still believe that you should not, in any way, shape, or form, attack or insult or impugn in any way the system. Your freedom of speech does not apply to judges and prosecutors. That's what they believe. Trump was saying this is terrible, these guys are bad, it's trumped up, and they're like, you can't, gag order. What? So I can remove your freedom of speech if it affects judges and or prosecutors. But prosecutors can go out into the press and say whatever they want all the time. I'm not making that up. You watch it. You see it. Cops can come out, prosecutors can come out, they can say whatever they want, as long as they're attacking the person accused. You can't attack the system. So you get freedom of speech, except when it's the system, then you got to shut up. Then it's dangerous. Their words. Did he take that away? No. Did he back off and go, you know what? This is kind of garbage. He was kind of right. No. Still dangerous. I can still gag you because you're saying bad stuff about. Now I can go on and say what I want, and so can the press. And you can't defend yourself in the press. No, you don't get to. And so can the prosecutor. They can say whatever they want. Government can say whatever it wants all day long. You can't, because that's tampering with the jury or whatever. Not them when they do it, but when you do it, it is. When they do it, no. But when you do it, it is. And you can say how bad you are all day long. You can't tell them how they're bad and corrupt. No, you can't do that. That's bad. That's dangerous. We're going to gag you and charge you thousands of dollars. Did he back off on any of that? No. Not one bit. He did not back off at all. So why does this matter to the average person? People are going to say, well, and it's when you hear, this is how the elites get away with stuff. No. That's not true at all. There's lots of elite people about going to jail. A lot of them. Elite people go to jail too, right? They do. I mean, obviously not the same level, of course, but they go to jail too, of course, right? You can ask some of the recent stars who've gone away or who are or going away. Maybe ask P. Diddy how jail is, right? That kind of thing. So they do go away, right? It does happen. It's not that. Is they recognize something. They couldn't put him away. They couldn't, because it was wrong to do so. That's the reality. Do you think judges care about anything other than that? Of course. That's all he cares about. And that's why they didn't put him away. Now, people are going to say, well, it's the elite versus the. No, it's not what it is. The problem is there is a bad or down or maybe good, depends how you see it, side to this. It depends how you look at it. I could see both sides of this. But the number one part you're going to see here is this adds on top of people not trusting, not believing the establishment. Again. Yes, again. Let me grab a couple super chats real fast. Peace, thank you for the 199. According to you, almost all judges are bad. So yes, I'm not surprised. Thank you, Peace. I'm not surprised. This New York judge, of course he was garbage. Most are. Most of the judges are garbage. And he's another one. Of course. They all are. They can't. Remember, this is about systems, Peace. It's about systems. Judges are not beholden to the people, nor are they beholden to the Constitution. They're beholden to one thing only: their party infrastructure that keeps them in place. That's all. So as long as they keep the party infrastructure happy, they're in place. They stay in power. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. Why in the world would he not realize how bad it is? Why would he defend the system so much? Democratic machine here. Not going to be Republican machine in some other state. I'm saying Democratic machine because in New York is Democratic machine. But again, if I was in Missouri, Oklahoma, it'd be the Republican machine, right? But it just happens to be in New York, so it's Democratic machine. It's the one-party machine that keeps the judges here. Most judges run unopposed. So if you run for office, it's unopposed. So as long as the Democratic Party puts you at the top, you're a judge. That's it. You're running unopposed. Most judges run unopposed. And if you're a Democratic or gerrymandered district, they vote for the same party, so you still get it either way, same thing. If you're a judge where you're selected, then the party infrastructure selects you. Either way, why do you care about the people? Doesn't matter to you. They have no power over you. They have no control over you. They get in the way. You put them in jail every day. They don't matter to you. They're peons if you're a judge. They don't mean anything to you. What do you care? Right? You don't care. Constitution? Who cares about that? Who's going to correct you? Other judges who are also beholden to the same system you're beholden to? They don't care about the Constitution. How do I know that? How many times has New York judges been overruled by the Supreme Court? All the time. We had a judge, as I've said before 1,000 times, who literally said in her courtroom, the Second Amendment doesn't exist in this courtroom. She openly said the Bill of Rights does not exist in my courtroom. And who cares? Nobody. So yes, I stand by what I said, Pete. And this is another example. Roger, thank you for $2. That's what Luigi's lawyer is making against Adams. Look, all I'm saying is, this is the piece that I'll bring up, that I am bringing up. There's less and less people who respect the system. Now, that's both good and bad, right? In theory, theoretically, we should all love and respect our system. That's what we should do. We don't. Why? It's proven time and time again to not work. Now, you might go, Larry, does that really matter? It does for many reasons. One, laws and the justice system don't stop crime. That's not what they do. What they do is they hopefully stop chaos. And there's a difference. What do I mean by that? Some people are still going to commit crimes regardless of the laws and justice we have. Some are going to anyway, regardless, right? You can't stop them all. But can you slow it down and stop chaos? Yes, you can. And how do you stop that? With a system that people trust and respect. If that's true, when something bad happens to me and my family member, I don't seek retribution. I don't seek revenge. I don't do that if I love and trust and respect my system. The system will give me the justice that I seek. It ends chaos. And that's not a bad thing. How do we know this? Because when you don't have judges and cops, we have a black market, right? And what happens to the black market? Street justice, vendettas, gangs. That's the result. The advantage of one gang, if you, again, respect and trust that gang mets out justice. It ends chaos, right? It's theoretically, this is all theoretical, right? Assuming we all trust, assuming we all believe in, the one gang, in theory, will met out justice and it will avoid chaos. That is the goal of most governments, right? It doesn't always work, obviously, but that's the goal. Less and less of us are believing in it. Well, that's when you get Luigi. To your point, Roger, that's when you get Luigi. When the people don't believe that the system can met out justice, then any street justice, which is Luigi. I'm not validating what he did at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the outcome. The outcome is that. If I don't believe the system will grant me justice, I go outside the system. The more people who don't believe the system will grant me justice, the more will go outside the system. Luigi is one example of that. And there are many more. The problem is the less we respect our system, which this today makes less people respect the system. Don't get me wrong. They deserve it. The system is absolute, utter trash. Of course it is. It is. It needs to be reformed. I've been talking about reform for 7 years. It needs reform. This is what happens when New York State does not listen to me or anybody else. When you have one party rule, it doesn't matter. This is what happens. Yes. Roger said, delete the parties to liberate judges. Let them be indie. 100%, Roger. 100% yes. Agreed. I'm with you. Let's do it. I'm in. P says, so a governor can fire judges, radical action. A judge, okay, can it happen? There is a process to impeach a judge. It does exist, right? I don't think you know what I think it has to be something crazy for a governor to just remove a judge. It probably could, there's probably some rule or regulation based upon that, I would assume. But in any case, judges can be impeached. That is a thing. And I'm pretty sure the impeachment has to be, if I remember the way it works, a governor, or I think anybody, but a governor can initiate it, but I'm pretty sure our assembly has to vote for the removal. I think that's correct. So the assembly, I believe, can remove the judge. I think that's true. But a judge can be removed. Of course, they can be. But why would you? They're doing the party bidding? Why would you remove a judge? They're doing the party bidding. Why would you? Well, if you had a governor who didn't give a shit, I'd be removing judges left and right. Left and right. All day long. Moving left and right. Of course. They should be accountable. Like everybody else. They should be accountable. So that's the tough part here. More people will distrust this. And I got to go a little further if I could. And that is the dangerous talk. The dangerous talk is going to make it harder. Because now this is going to still validate judges for gagging people, telling people they can't talk. And that's the problem is, I understand that a judge controls speech in the courtroom. I get that. That makes sense to me, right? They have to have a courtroom that runs. I totally get that, right? That does make sense. But now they're saying judges should control speech outside the courtroom. That's my problem. I get a judge has to run the courtroom. I get that. You have to, all right? But what? Now outside you control it too? So you control me wherever I go because you're a judge and I have no recourse whatsoever? Correct? So you're a demigod, basically. Correct. That's my other piece. So why did he do this versus just say drop it or throw it out or whatever the case may be? Could the judge have done that? The judge could have, right? But that would have been insanely radical. That could have been insanely radical. Could he have said, this whole thing was garbage, throw the case out, conviction nullified? He could, but that's so insanely, that's just not a thing that judges do. Judges don't look at a jury verdict. There's nothing a judge looks at more sacred than a jury verdict, right? They look at that as sacred. So for a judge to throw that out, it really has to be like something insane. But could he have done it? Yes. Some people ask, could he have done it? Yes, he could have. But that's probably asking too much of him to do, to be forward. But could he have stopped it from coming in the first place? Yes. And that's where it should have happened. He should have never taken the case. That was his error. His error. He did exactly what he wanted to do. Again, the plan was perfect. That's what should have happened, I'll say. There we go. What should have happened is that this never comes to court. That's what should have happened. Once it's in court, it's tough for him to do that, right? There has to be something blatantly obvious. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't imagine what the thing is, but it has to be something crazy for him to just go, no, not good, no. Right? So that's the issue. He also did something else, though. He didn't just say, well, here's the thing, good luck when you appeal. He tried to make it to where there is a need for an appeal. Now, judges can and have in the past, they'll literally say things like, well, the jury has said X, Y, and Z, and here's your sentence. And by the way, hint, hint, here's how you appeal this because this was garbage. Judges do that sometimes. When a judge actually knows this is a bad decision, this shouldn't happen, a judge will sometimes literally just say, and here's how you appeal. Now, it wasn't those words, but he will actually say that, right? He'll say, here you go. Here's how you appeal. He didn't do any of that. He did the reverse. Why do Democrats want it? Democrats want this because now they can say he's a felon. This is for name calling. This is for name calling and fundraising. Both sides will raise money off this. Trump's already raising money off this. I mean, Trump's one of the best guys raising money. He will absolutely raise money off this. Democrats will say, get the felon out or whatever, blah, 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 and they'll raise money on it too. So they'll all raise money on it. Here is the also thing that is both good and bad about this. people are going to not respect convictions. Now, here's the good part. A lot of people are convicted of BS crimes. That's true. There's the other part. There's some really bad people out there who are felons. So are you now going to trust the really bad felon who goes, I was railroaded? And you go, yeah, like Trump. And you trust that person and they're a really bad guy? But at the same time, perhaps there'll be more people who say, hey, I'm a felon, but I was railroaded. Okay, you can still have a job, right? I'm not going to stop you from trying to make your life go better. So it could be that too. So it's both sides of this that matter, right? Could he have thrown it out? He could have, but it's probably asking a lot. I want to grab some comments and questions. I appreciate these. I do want to walk down this road a bit. I hope you enjoy the topic and you'll get the background behind why this matters and what was actually said. Before I go there, though, please click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do that. The button known as like. Do that if you would. Every click does matter. Something special is happening, guys. Something special. Next Tuesday, up in Albany at 10 a.m. Up in Albany at 10 a.m., I'm going to be speaking at a Maha Action event next Tuesday the 14th. I don't know about what time. I'm not sure exactly where. Head over to teachersforchoice.org to check that out. The link is in the description on both YouTube and Facebook. Check those out. Click it over there. A bunch of people showing up there to speak. People been on my show before. Going to be here. Trisha Lindsay will be there too. So they're all speaking. It's a Maha Action event. Make America Healthy Again in Albany. 10 a.m. Tuesday, the 14th of January. I will be there. I'm bringing my daughter too. So if you haven't met my daughter, you can bring her there if you can go there. So if you can, please head over there. Check that out. That's where I will be. Now, with that in mind, happening Saturday, my AMA, which is tomorrow, will be live when it comes to YouTube, Facebook, and X on Sharpe Way. It will not be live on Larry Sharpe. So if you're on Larry Sharpe right now, if you can swap over to Sharpe Way for YouTube, Facebook, and X. Does not matter for Rumble. Doesn't matter for Getter. I'm on Getter too, by the way. I'm also going to start going also, by the way, also off to Vimeo and Twitch and Instagram. So I'll be shifting off to have more platforms, but less redundancy. So if that can bring the chat together. So that's where we'll go. But I will be putting it back up on Larry Sharpe afterwards. I will still put it back on, but it'll just be the day after, and it will not be live. So if you don't care about the live, stay on Larry Sharpe. You don't care about the live. But if you like the live, you have to go over to Sharpe Way. Make sure that happens. Last piece I'm going to ask you right now is, please, if you would, share or repost this now. Repost this on X, share it into a Facebook group. The more you share it, the better. It's how it grows. That piece really matters. Please make that happen if you can. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these super chats. By the way, of course, you can super chat me if you like. Super chat me on either YouTube, and it goes right to the front. Duke of Hex, $5. Thank you. Merchan knows, Merchan's the judge, by the way, if you don't know that's the name, that these charges were obvious lawfare. Correct. Hex, yes. Duke, yes. What makes him so sure he won't be subject to the same lawfare under Trump DOJ? Because he is immune. Why would he think anything? Judges believe they are immune. Why would they think you can't touch me, I'm a judge. I'm a demigod. Why would you? Can't touch me. I'm a demigod. You can't do that. That's why he believes that, because he has his entire life. They all have. They've been taught that since they were, yes, you can't touch a judge. Impossible. Think about this. The one judge that they got, the guy who was literally ruining children's lives. Remember that judge who was literally ruining children's lives for money? Biden pardoned him. I'm not making that up. You think I'm joking? That happened. So you, as a judge, again, I want to be clear, literally destroy children's lives for money, you get pardoned. And again, convicted, not accused of that. Proven that you did that. You, again, I want to be very clear on this. You ruined the lives of children for money. Pardoned. Why? You're a judge. So why would he think he's going to get in trouble? Why would he? There is no reason for him to think he's going to get in trouble ever. He's a demigod. I'm a demigod. You can't touch me. That's the reason why. I hope that's clear. So I know you may think that's crazy, but no, it's obviously true. He would never think that. So yes. All righty. Vivek says, I think the only legitimate case against him was Georgia, maybe Jan day after 6, day after 5. New York and the document case were ridiculous. Maybe, but here's the problem, Vivek, and I'm going to move to a piece which will make some of you upset, but but there's a parallel. It was the Me Too movement. What do I mean by that? While the Me Too movement had a whole lot of value to it, there were a lot of women who were ignored, and it gave a lot of women the opportunity to step up and to get some justice. Agreed. Of course, that's what happened. And that's the part, the and part's the problem. And it allowed women to just go, believe all women, all men are evil, and also something else which was terrible. It made our culture connect accused harassment directly with Romeo Alpha Papa Echo, right? Directly with that word that begins with an R and rhymes with nape, right? That word. It connected those two. So now if someone was accused of harassment, and that happened often, he harassed me, they were basically now that. That's how that connected. At that point, people said, well, now I don't believe you anymore. That's not true. You're exaggerating. Oh my God. And it went from believe all women to all of a sudden there's a lot of people, women included, who when the accusation comes out, they go, yeah, really? And the worst part is, as always, as I mentioned all the time, there are women who are obviously seriously harassed, assaulted, and all the way at the end of that rope. Yes, all of them. Of course it happens. Those people suffer. They suffer. And the problem is they spent so much time going after him on everything they could. They had to get him because he's the evilest guy in the world. There's really corrupt politicians out there who are doing horrible things who need to go to jail. Now no one's going to believe them. This is all just, it's political. Same thing. So people who are actually bad and need to go to jail are now just going to be, nah, I don't believe it. That's my point about not trusting the system. Now you have a chunk of Americans who just don't believe anything. Doesn't matter. Okay, here's the evidence. Look at why is Mendez, the guy from Jersey, why is he still fighting? He had gold bars. Gold bars. He's like, nah, I'm gonna fight this. What? They found the gold bars. Yeah, I'm gonna fight this. Why? He knows. He knows. Same thing. So anyway, I just hope that was clear in that piece. So Sam says, looking forward to your show, Larry. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. All righty. Kim says, thanks for being a member, Kim. Can I carry my membership with me to Sharpe Way? If so, how? I don't know. Don't worry about it. You can watch on Sharpe Way either way. It doesn't matter. I still know who you are. Keep your membership. It'll still count for going on the show on the 27th. So whenever you have a chance, go to Sharpe Way if you can. If not, no worries. It's okay. I just rather have you watch on a live show on Sharpe Way if you want to. That's the issue. So yeah. All righty. Dave says, oh, he's two of them. All right. He says, one, it doesn't matter. Trump supporters think the charges are all because of deep state, and Democrats think that Republicans get over. Everyone else, they don't care. His second part is, I care more about Matt Campbell staying in Iowa State than Donald Trump's trial. Well, I think some of that's true. But again, I go back to my other point, Dave. The less people who trust the system, the more challenging it will be. Now, again, a part of that's good in that maybe it will change. I hope that will happen. We'll realize we don't trust it and we'll change. The other issue is, will people just begin to do what Luigi did? If you don't trust your gang, you create a rival gang. You rebel against the gang. The government gang, the government mob only works if we believe in it, which is a part of what the judge is saying is true, right? I'm not saying he's wrong on what he's saying. He's saying people can't talk the way Trump and the Trump team talked because it's dangerous for the system. He's right. If you're that one guy just recently said it, what did that one guy say? Ooh, I forgot his name. Oops, hold on. Where am I here? There we go. Sorry. The other guy, he said, what was his name again? Matt Galloway, is that his name? Galloway? He's a guy who talks about boys and men all the time. And he's talking about how the system's in trouble and that people are now going to start attacking wealthy people. Of course, he's wealthy, so he's concerned. If I was him, I'd be scared too. Get it? And he's worried about this. Yes, because that's what happens when you don't trust the system. So the judge is correct when he says it's dangerous. It's right. He is. It's dangerous to him and to others. They hate that I can't stand judges. Do you understand? They hate that. They can't stand it. Who attacks judges but me? You don't see my attacking judges. I'm the only guy. They hate it. If I have to go in front of a judge, I'm screwed. If someone accuses me, I'm screwed. Guaranteed the prosecutor's going to pull it up and goes, look what Larry Sharpe says about judges. And because of that, I'm going away. That's how it works. I know that. It doesn't matter if I'm guilty. I'm going away. Why? Because I'm dangerous to the system. I'm not making that up. That's going to happen. If I have to go in front of a judge again, I'm in trouble. Of course. Doesn't matter. They care more about the system. I think I told you this. I think this was in Illinois. I forgot where it was. There was a push to put a moratorium on the death sentence because they were finding so many innocent people on death row. And they want to start going through and using DNA evidence to get people out of death row and get them out of jail. And they were lawyers who said, you can't do that. I'm like, why? These people are innocent. No. We can't do that because then people won't trust the system. So the lawyer was like, no. Let them stay in jail. Let the system be evil as long as people trust the system. Because if it starts to fall apart, they won't trust the system anymore. We have to have a system. We must have order. We must have order. I must bring order to the empire. That's what I must bring. It doesn't matter if it's just or fair. And they're seeing that, and they're right. That's my issue of concern. More people will be Luigi. That's not a good thing. But maybe instead of that happening, we make a change. I'd rather us change. That's what I'm saying. That is my hope. So yes. Kim says, share it on Facebook too. Thank you, Kim. I do appreciate it tremendously. Every little bit counts, and that does matter. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go here. Mike says, simply wanted to affect the election. Yes, that was the goal. Now, it didn't work. Let me be very clear. The plan was executed. If people think the Democrats failed in their plan, you're incorrect. The plan did work. It just was the plan was executed. It just didn't work. It was a bad plan. But there was a plan, and they executed it. They did. It's like saying, I plan to run the ball every single play in the Super Bowl, and you ran every play. Okay, you executed your plan. Did you win? No, it's a terrible idea. But we did it. That's this one. Yes. So, all righty. Robert says, I was expecting a fine. I doubt an ex-president would ever go to jail. How would the Secret Service protect them? At most, they'd be fitted with an ankle monitor. I didn't expect anything. Because, again, the plan was already done. They didn't care anymore. If you remember what I said after he wins, when he wins, it's over. Done. It's over. Yeah. Nothing's going to happen. And nothing happened. Because the goal was to stop him from winning. Once he wins, who cares? It's over. Let it go. And it looks like he's just going to do his 4 years and out. So yeah. You might say, well, wait a minute. For those who don't know, yesterday the Supreme Court had the option to try to stop this and block this and say, don't sentence him. Supreme Court said, no, you should sentence him. They went through it. I'm sure Trump wasn't happy. But this may not be a bad thing for Trump. Why? Now Trump has the ability to appeal. If you don't sentence him, he can't appeal, right? You've got to be sentenced so you can start the appeal process. So he can't appeal. So is there a chance that Trump can win the appeal? Yes, there absolutely is a chance. And the biggest reason why there's a chance he can win the appeal, believe it or not, is because of the Supreme Court, their ruling on the supremacy clause, right? That's his biggest reason that he could. It's possible. He could win an appeal. It's possible. Could he win it in New York State? In only one way. If New York State judges believe that they'll be overturned by a higher court, either by the Supreme Court or the New York State Supreme Court, either one, if they think they'll be a Court of Appeals, if they believe that they'll be overturned, they might do it to not be overturned. Maybe. Otherwise, Supreme Court have to do it. New York State would never want to do this. So, yes. James says, what's the purpose of unconditional discharge? Why do we have it? Is it a good thing? Yeah, the purpose is to say, the reality of it is, judges have a lot of leeway when they when they sentence you. They have a lot of leeway, with some exceptions like mandatory minimums. By the way, mandatory minimums are absolutely unconstitutional, and the fact that we accept that is insanely stupid. There's no such thing as mandatory minimums. This does not exist. The legislature doesn't decide sentencing. It's not what it does. It decides what a crime is. It does not decide sentencing. That's what a judge is for. A judge is supposed to judge. So mandatory minimums are absolutely unconstitutional, but we've accepted them because we're scared and war on drugs. So mandatory minimums, it's not a thing. So a judge should be able to say, no, the jury made a mistake, or this is bad, or the circumstances are different. You're supposed to judge each crime, not just by what the person did. And there's literally, this is true, there's a little rubric they have, judges have, which is why I tease all the time so you can just have an algorithm. They have a rubric, little thing they have. Look at it and go, okay, he did this, and that's X years. He had a gun, that's Y years. He had this, that's so-and-so. And they add it up and come with the rubric. Oh, okay, that means he should be between 9 and 12 years. Yeah, I'm not joking. That's a real thing. Excuse me. That's a real thing. Let me grab some water. I apologize. So that's a real thing. Well, then what do I need you for? Put that in the algorithm. Sentencing. Done. Sentencing. Done. I don't need you. No big deal at all. But judges are supposed to have a lot of leeway. Unconditional discharge is legal in New York State. I'm not sure if it's legal in every state. I know it's legal in New York State. What it basically means is you are convicted, but there's no punishment that fits the crime. That's what it basically means. It means there is no punishment that fits your crime. Whatever you are convicted of, you are convicted of it. You did it. But there's no punishment that fits that crime. So why would you do it? I mean, in theory, maybe a wife who felt she was trapped by her husband and deletes him out of what she believes is self-defense. A judge could say, all right, the jury convict you of whatever, killing or whatever, murder or whatever they convict you of, but your husband's gone. You're in your 60s. You've been sitting in jail the whole time because you're poor. So you've been sitting in jail for years until the trial's over. Trial's over. Go home. Unconditional discharge. There's no, what am I doing? You're not a threat to anybody. The person you were a threat to is dead. You killed them. So you're not a threat to them. You got kids and family. They need you. Unconditional discharge. Just go. Just go. So in theory, that was a way you could use it, right? Because a judge makes a decision. Now, the problem is what judges do is go, doesn't matter. The crime is this and you did that. So I got to put you in jail through my rubric for X number of years and blah, blah, blah. I know you're 60 and you felt there was no way around it and you've got kids and family. Too bad. 14 years. That's how it actually works. But in theory, a judge could do that and go, why bother? There's no punishment that fits the crime. What if the punishment is usually a fine, but you're broke and you're poor? Judge goes, you already broke. So that's what it, in theory, could be used for. Was it actually used for? Shit like this. So, but that's what the purpose is, right? If that makes any sense. So is it a good thing? Yes, we should have that. A judge should be able to do that. But that's also some of you have decent judges, and we don't. But yeah, anyway. Duke says, Trump's DOJ will charge key Democrats with equally ridiculous charges. Democrats have set a precedent we may never come from. I hope you are wrong, Duke. I want you to be wrong. I'm not saying you are. I want you to be wrong. My gut says that won't happen. My gut says that won't happen. And the reason why I say that is the way that Hakeem Jeffries has spoken. Hakeem Jeffries has backed off tremendously. He has. A lot of Democrats in the Senate even are considering maybe voting for some of Trump's people to try to make that over. I think Democrats are thinking, I don't want to go that far. I think they realize that this may be bad. I'm going to go with no. I'm not saying you're wrong because I'm not prepared to say that because I'm not sure. But if I had to bet, I'm going to bet they don't do it. That's where my head goes to. Yeah, that's what I think. I hope I answered your question, by the way, James. Phil asked a good question. I hope that made sense. Yes. All right. Roy says, some leaders are men of conviction. Others are men with conviction. My point exactly, Roy, the insults. That's why they want it. Yes, that's why they want it. Perfect insult. That's what it's there for. 100%. Yes. Christine says the judge is going to be, I think she means exposed, the Democrat shill that he is when Trump appeals. No, there'll be no punishment at all, Christine. I wish that were true, but there's no punishment for them. They just, yeah, they don't want to. Andrea says, I think they want the felon label to go after him for 4 years that they did with Rushgate. Yes, I think it is an insult. I agree. It is an insult. Yes. Over on Rumble, God's Coast, you can over Rumble watch you do if you want to. Shredan says, what's the goal of the voter fraud in RFK Jr.? All right, a little bit off topic, but I will bring it up. It's a similar thing, right? The judges in New York State, again, as I hammer them almost every week, they decided that the answer for RFK Jr. when he tried to get on the ballot in New York State was, you can't be on the ballot because your address is wrong. I'm not joking. That was the reason. Now, so you know the story. RFK Jr. first applied for ballot access before New York. Before that was in New Hampshire. New Hampshire law is just you have to have an American address. You have to live in America. That's all they wanted. They didn't care what state. You got to live in America somewhere where you live. And he said, well, I'm a Kennedy. I have multiple houses, multiple places. And they're like, okay, which one? They said, he said, which one do you want? They said, well, give us, where do you vote? He said, I'm registered to vote in New York State. My license to practice law is New York State. My fishing gun license, all in New York State. They went, put New York. He went, okay, put New York down, done. When I comes to New York, he put the same address down. They go, but you don't live there. Yeah, I do. I have many houses. It's one of my places I live. I live in many places. It's one of them. And it's my address that New Hampshire wanted. It's literally where my driver's license is. It's where I vote. That's my home. But no, but we think you live in California. I'm not joking. They went to court over it and won. That is how bad our judges are. And the answer wasn't, what should be the remedy of that, right? If you honestly believe that that was wrong, that he made an error by using the New Hampshire one in New York, if you believe that, okay, I'm not against you saying that's a mistake. Okay, what should the remedy be? The remedy should be put the right address down. Done. That should be the remedy, right? Okay, what's your address? California? Put California. Whatever. Put the address down that is appropriate. That should be the answer. Put the right address down. Done. No, I just said off the ballot. He spent $1 million. Judge didn't care. 145,000 signatures. So 145,000 New Yorkers said, I think RFK Jr. should be on the ballot. The judge said, I don't care about them. My point earlier exactly. Judges do not give a shit about the people at all. They do not give a shit. If you gave a shit at all about American people, about New Yorkers, a New York judge, you would have like, put him on a ballot. People want to vote for him. Clearly, let them vote for him. He didn't do that. He went, my party hacks that I'm beholden to, they don't want RFK Jr. on the ballot. So I'm going to throw him off. That's what our judges did. Why? Because that's what they're beholden to. They don't care about us. Let me say it again. 145,000 people plus $1 million, which means people, Americans, gave that money to the campaign so he can get on the ballot. So $1 million and 145,000 signatures. No, I don't care. My party overlords tell me what to do. I'm a judge in New York State. I don't care about you or the law or righteousness or people. Doesn't mean shit to me. I'm a New York State judge. I don't care about that. I care about what my party overlords want. And they want him off the ballot. Off the ballot it goes. That's how that works. I know. I've been in that courtroom. I've watched them throw me off the ballot. I've been right there. I've watched it happen to me. So why would they say this? Well, now their next attack against RFK Jr. is, well, he's a felon. I'm not joking. He's a felon. Yeah. Because what he did was he lied on a government form address. That's the voter fraud that they're saying. And he shouldn't have voted in New York State. Why? Because he doesn't live here, even though his driver's license is here, even though his license to practice law is here. So now he's a felon. That's the attack on RFK Jr. Why? Because Democrats always do this. Republicans attack too, but differently. I'm not going to try to make Republicans better here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Democrats have a way of doing it. It's always dismissive. Always dismissive. That's dismissive. Right? That's it. No. He's you can't talk to you. How can you possibly confirm RFK Jr.? Voter fraud felon. I'm not joking. That's the answer they have right now. That's their answer. Voter fraud felon. So trying to ask the question, that's where that comes from. It's a goddamn embarrassment, but it's how it always works. And again, less and less people are going to get this. So Ryan says, my party runs my life, lol. Yes. They give you $2, my friend. Yes. And that's what they care about. And again, I say it all the time. Why? Because it matters. It matters. So yes. Joel says the plan was to bar him from running. No, Joel. No, brother. It was not. They wanted him to run. Democrats love him running. He is the ultimate evil boogeyman. They love him running. They love. And here's what I can guarantee you. My assumption is after he does his 4 years, assuming he's still around doing things, don't know, he's old too. So assuming that he does the 4 years and he's all good and he does his thing, they're still going to use him as a boogeyman and he won't be around anymore. Yes. He'll be in Mar-a-Lago, whatever, golfing or whatever he does, whatever he's going to do, whatever. He'll be there. And they'll still be like, yeah, and that's another Trump guy, and Orange Man's still bad. They will not let it go. Why would they? They raise money off it. You know how much money Democrats raise off of Orange Man bad? I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not even joking. Hundreds. They're not letting him go. They don't want to bar him from nothing. They want him to never leave. And this, again, established. The average Democrat hates Trump. The established Democrats are like, no, ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. We raise tons of money. We all stay in power. I want to repeat this if you guys don't know this. Do you know how many the Democrats got their ass kicked last year? Across the board. Across the board. Okay. So how many people in Democrat leadership were removed? None. None. One was replaced, not removed, because he retired. The rest all got their seats right back, all got all their money, kept all their power. They're like, life's good. And we get to raise money off Trump. Kind of glad Harris lost. Yes. I'm not joking. I wish I was. I wish I was. Yes. So there we go. Rob says, going after wouldn't work if you hadn't actually been breaking laws. Okay, that's not true. That's not true. People go up to me all the time without breaking laws. That's not true at all. No. And the second piece is at least 70%, 75% of all laws are utter and total bullshit. At least. I mean, maybe 95%, but at least 75%. How do I know that? New York State last year passed, if I remember right, what my governor said was 600 separate bills became laws last year, if I remember her words right. Are you telling me New York State requires 600 laws? No, most of them are just bullshit giveaways, stupid rules and regulations, fines and fees. So yeah, that's the old, well, you broke the law. Do you know the law, Rob? You don't. I don't have to know you. I know you don't. You can't. Nobody does. The law is tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pages long. You haven't read them all. You've broken laws already. You're breaking them all right now. I'm sure you are. I don't have to know you or where you live. I am sure you're breaking laws because we all are. The goal of all these laws is to ensure that we are all guilty of something. It's just when do they target you? So when I target you, Rob, I will find it. What is it that Stalin said? Was it Stalin, right? I think he said that. Find me a man, I'll find a crime. That's where we are now. So that breaking the law shit, that's garbage. It's all the time. How do I know this? I'll give you a perfect example of this. We have made so many laws on finance, campaign finance. And people go, well, it's so we can make things better. No, there's more money in than ever. The elites have more money than ever. They still keep making more money than ever. None of it's worked ever. What's happened? The little guy gets hammered because they can't understand all the laws. I know I'm that little guy. I'm the guy when I run. Every time I run, I get fined. Every time. Breaking the law. How much do they know these laws? And laws are dumb. Laws are things. This is like a law. I'm not making this up here. If you make a certain type of expense, you must categorize it and submit it within 24 hours. Why? Why? It just means I have to have somebody working 24/7. Why can't I do it at the end of every week and every month? Whatever, as long as I do it legally. Why can't it happen at the end of every month? I don't have to report it every 3 months, but that's every 24 hours. And only a specific thing they deemed as specific. You don't know that. So what happened? You get fined. And that's it. Going after if you broke the law. That's the same shit I deal with all the time. Most of those are garbage. They don't help. They just hurt. So the big guys have someone because they raise tens of millions of dollars. So they have someone on staff 24/7. They can easily do this. Easy day. I can't. I get fined. I can't. They can. They write the laws. Judges, you say, well, judges would make it fair. No, judges don't care. Judges go, Larry, just hire more people. How much? So I got to spend, and by the way, this is how much I had to spend. I got to spend $400,000 to get on the ballot. Just to get on the ballot. That doesn't count. Hiring someone to watch the dollars every day because I got to break my 24-hour rule. That's not one advertisement. That's not even a Facebook post. None of that. And I don't have the backing of a party. So you go, well, Larry, that seems unfair. Yeah, it does. Do judges care? No. And you might go, but Larry, it's the cost of doing business. Okay, great. Do Democrats have to do that? No. They're on the ballot automatically. Do Republicans do that? No. They're on the ballot automatically. And if they have a problem, the party covers them. I don't have that. That's my breaking law. Stop. You're fooling yourself, my friend. You're fooling yourself. Absolutely. You're fooling yourself. So Phil says, Brazil and Pakistan both have convictions that kept popular figures from running for president or prime minister. Concerning CIA didn't like Trump. Is that the same playbook? No. Some countries have rules against that. We do not. You can be a felon and run for office. You can be physically in jail, run for office. You can be physically in prison, run for office. 100%. Doesn't stop it. We don't have any laws against that. You can do it. Absolutely. So we don't have that. Some countries do. We don't. So that does not stop you. Now, in theory, culture could stop you, meaning the people could say, I don't want to support this guy or gal because they're in prison. So culture could. This is my point, though. With this happening, who's going to care now? We now have a felon as president. Well, we will in 10 days. We will have a felon as a president in 10 days. At that point, who cares? He has changed it. It doesn't matter anymore. So yes. Mike says he didn't break any laws. Even the banks didn't do anything wrong. He paid them back and they would loan him money again. So what's the crime? This is my point, Mike. This is my point about, I'll go back to the same thing with Robin going after wouldn't work if he hadn't broken any laws. All right. Yes. He did break laws, Mike. The problem is the laws are bullshit. Why do you mean they're bullshit? If there's no victim, why is there a crime? Where's the victim? Your point is well taken, Mike. He did break the law. That's true. But the law was bullshit, as most of them are. There's no, this is a law that goes, you're supposed to put it down this way versus that way. Was it illegal for him to pay someone to be quiet? No, that's done all the time. It's not illegal. You're right. Did the banks get upset? No, he paid them back. He didn't care. You're right. There is no victim here. The victim, I guess, is the state or whatever the hell that means. He didn't follow a rule, but no one was hurt. Nobody. The banks weren't mad. He paid them back. He didn't care. She wasn't mad. She got her cash. She's good. Like, everybody's fine. No one's mad except the system. The system is mad. So remember, his crime wasn't against anybody. His crime's against the state. And that's worse in their eyes. That's why he had to be punished. Because his crime was against the state. So he did break laws. They were just bullshit laws that didn't mean anything. Right? If you make a law that says you should, you should wear a hat on Thursdays, and you don't wear a hat on Thursdays, I broke a law. It's a bullshit law. It affects nobody. But they could make a law that says, every New Yorker has to wear a hat on Thursdays. That's not unconstitutional. Not New York State, it isn't. And the only reason it's not unconstitutional is because you don't make it based upon gender or race or something like that. If you say every New Yorker, regardless, as long as you are 18 years or older, you must wear a hat on Thursday. Our judge would say totally fair law. Our legislature would pass that law in a heartbeat. Our governor would sign it absolutely, 100%. And that would be a law in New York State. And if I go outside on Thursday without a hat on, I would have broken a law. And I would go to jail. Now, is it a bullshit law? Yes. Who did I hurt? Maybe myself if my head gets too hot or too cold or whatever. Maybe, right? Maybe I hurt myself. Maybe. But so what? Don't I own my own life? Can't I decide to have too much sun on my head on a Thursday in the summer or have it too cold in the winter or whatever? Of course. But no, it's for safety, Mike. So you have to wear a hat on Thursdays so your head doesn't get cold. So I don't mean to be a nudge, but he did break a law, which is stupid law. Doesn't make any sense. It means nothing. So Yes. Anyway, Liberty Lady asks, she says, she's over. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Joel. I'm sorry. He says there were Dems that were trying to make NDAs illegal because Trump used it. Correct. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, which means I say, hey, Mike, don't talk about X. Here's money. And you go, ooh, that's not enough money, Larry. I need more money. Okay, here's more money. Can you please not talk about X? You go, okay. And you agree. You sign a piece of paper saying, I won't talk about X. Give me the money. I give you the money. You don't talk about X. That's a non-disclosure agreement. And that's legal because it's voluntary. Mike, you can take the money or you can go, no, Larry, I don't care about your money. I'm talking about X. Okay, you can say no. But if you take my money, you got to shut up or don't take the money. So yes. Mike Voss here, how are you, brother? He says, imagine the devil himself, responsible for everything wrong in America, convicted, and the Dems let him walk as he jokes casually with Obama. Nicely done. Mike, nicely done. Makes sense. Yes, 100%. Same thing. Yes. You're totally right. Look, they don't hate him. I'm sorry. Establishment Democrats don't hate him. They don't. They hang out with him. You saw it. They hang out. They laugh and joke. They hang out with him. Establishment Democrats, they're happy Trump's around. Some Republicans hate him more. And this will make some of you crazy. The average Republican loves Trump. It's clear. They voted for him. They love him. The average Republican loves him. The average Democrat hates him. The average Democrat establishment person does not hate Trump. They make a ton of money off him. The average established Republican does not like Trump because he pushes against their control. That's the reality. Some of you may think that's crazy, but that's the reality. So, yes. Mike says, crooked judges, they won't go after actual criminals, yet they'll go after Trump as a politically biased charge. Even Andrew Cuomo won't have allowed the charges from Andrew's mouth. It's election tampering. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if Cuomo was governor, he would have backed. Cuomo is actually more authoritarian than Hochul is and is more controlling than Hochul is. Hochul has some advantages as a politician. She is one of the best ring givers and job givers I've seen. She's actually better than Cuomo at that. And she's also much better at virtue signaling. She's amazing at virtue signaling, better than Cuomo was. And she is better at giving out jobs and keeping people in her world through gifts. She's very good at that. She's actually better than Cuomo at that. Cuomo was actually a better leader, to be forward with you. I mean, obviously I can't stand Cuomo, terrible guy, can't stand him, but I'm being forward. A better leader, more charisma, and much more authoritarian. So I think he might have stepped up. He might have stepped up and said, no, we're stopping this. He might have done that. That's something Cuomo could have done. Hochul would have never done that in the main years. Totally correct. Yes. Over on Rumble, Burnslot says the Clintons went to Trump's weddings. Yes. Yeah. There we go. Christine said there was no crime. You heard what I said, Christine. Legally, there was. But it's most of the laws we have. They're utter garbage, right? They're utter garbage. Michael's going to say lawfare is not about conviction. It's about changing voting patterns. Correct. Accurate. And it's hoping to get people to see Republicans as somehow bad so that they can't vote for them, right? That's the hope. The bad part is it's not working. Like the plans that the Democrats have are being executed. Like they're actually executing well, right? They're doing what they've set out to do. The problem is the outcomes aren't what it used to be. There are many reasons for this. Number one, if you only have a hammer, everything's a nail. Number one, right? But number two, this is habit. This is what they've been doing for years. And it has in the past worked. This kind of thing has worked in the past. They don't get, look, love or hate Trump. He is different. He's a different animal. The one thing Trump has over every other similar politician of his ilk, of his world, is he is the most tenacious of them all. The closest one to tenacity in him is Bill Clinton. He's the closest, and he doesn't match Trump, but he's the closest, right? And there's still a gap. Clinton is tenacious too. Don't get me wrong. He's very tenacious. He is. He's the closest to Trump, but Trump is still more tenacious than him. Trump will not stop, period, no matter what. Never stop. push forever, never stop. That is his skill set. His real skill set. Just you never stop. Doesn't matter. Again, Clinton's very good, but doesn't match Trump. Clinton's the second, he's the closest, right? Never stop. Never. Biden tried to be that. He was not. He was not. Hillary tried that. She was not either. She was not either. Reagan was pretty tenacious too, but Nixon was also back in the day. Nixon and Reagan were both very tenacious back in the day. But no, they don't match Trump. And while Clinton was, prior to Trump, Clinton was the champ when it came to being tenacious. He was the top dog until Trump. Trump is not a top dog tenacity. He does not stop. And I think most Democrats thought, well, we'll just keep punishing him. He'll stop, because they always stop. And to be forward, Mike, in the past, that was true, right? If it's not Trump, Democrats are right. This would have worked against most people. It would have worked, not against him. And I think you look at the past, it has worked in the past. They pushed people out left and right this way. They broke them, like they do tomorrow. They broke a lot of them. Didn't break Trump. That's the issue. So, yes. Let's see if I can go here. Andrea, thank you again for being a member. New York businesses better not use attorneys' fees in their accounting. Oh, that's right. Yes. They might go to jail now. They might be convicted of 34 felonies, Andrea. You're right. Yes. Joel says he was already impeached for abuse of Congress and obstruction of their power. Yes. Yep. All righty. Robert says a governor has no control over the AG. The AG brings charges on their own. An AG is elected by the voters. They're not appointed. Yes, but I'm not saying the AG. I'm saying individual judges. Right. So, yeah, I don't. Now, to be forward, an AG can be impeached also, right? There is a process for every single elected official to be impeached. The process does exist. It doesn't mean they can be replaced. Now, a governor can replace elected officials. They can in New York State. A governor in New York State can replace, not an AG, but they can replace the district attorney. The district attorney is also elected. So just because someone's elected doesn't mean a governor cannot replace them. They can be replaced depending upon the situation and the issues. And everyone, even a governor, everyone can, even a sitting congressman, a sitting assembly person, there is a process to impeach everyone. The question is, how does it work? Who does it? What's the process? I don't know the process of every one of them, but every single person who's elected can be impeached. There is a process for all of them. Even the AG is a process. But you're right. The governor can't just go, AG, you're gone. That's not a thing. That's correct. But could the governor, he or she, start the process for an impeachment? Of course, they could. And it'd be a process. I think impeachment in New York State is through the assembly. I'm going to do some homework on that one, Robert. If someone can do some homework on that, it'd be great if you don't mind, if someone happens to have a time to do it. I think impeachment is through the assembly in New York State. But there is one, is all I'm saying. There is a way, if that makes any sense. So Mike says, a governor can pardon death row inmates, but can't stop charges. I disagree about that. Yes, of course they can. Yeah, once you pardon someone, the charges go away. Literally, they go away. Yes, they go away. So of course they could. Yeah. All right. Josh says, post in the comments if you got snow today. I did not get snow today. I did not. I don't think I did I? No, I didn't. I didn't go out today. But not. I sent my daughter out. I know it's kind of mean, but I was very busy today. So I actually sent her out to do some stuff. Yeah. I probably should have myself. I didn't. I instead went on a treadmill, which I probably should have gone out, but I did not. I'm just telling the truth. I didn't. Yes. All right. Christine says, Michael Cohen came out and admitted that he made the payments to Stormy without Trump's knowledge. There has been such a far. Yes, but no, that is the issue. They didn't convict him on that. They convicted him on like whether he wrote it out a certain way that wasn't the way that the law said. That was the conviction. So he did break a law. I'm just saying it's a bullshit law. But yes, he did. Absolutely. Yes. All righty here. Sheridan says, love the shorts. They don't get me shunned from my Facebook friends. I'm not sure what you mean. The shorts that I put on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe. Or do you like shorts like you wearing shorts? I'm not sure. That might not be for me. Anyway, just want to let you know that I am on Rumble also. Andrea goes on to say, the elites have more funds throughout the system. That doesn't mean they'll win. Correct. Yes. Yes. The AC says, apparently Diddy is pissed. I didn't know this. That all the other detainees love Luigi and hate him. Well, yeah. Why is he pissed? Yeah. Did he basically did horrible, terrible things to a bunch of people, and just for his own grace, Luigi did one bad thing to one person, and in theory, did it for the people. I'm not sure that's true, but anyway, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Roy says, governor can pardon convicted criminals like Trump, but cannot prevent the conviction. Jury found Trump's guilt. Do we want a system where governors can interfere with that? Yes. Yes. The conviction is, but if you pardon someone for their crime, it's no longer a crime. So, yes. Do we want a system where the government can interfere with that? 100% we do. Yes. And the reason why I say that specifically is because we can't trust our assemblies. They're terrible, and they've proven that for the past 100 years how bad they are. They make terrible laws. They don't care about the Constitution. And I don't mean that as a joke. They literally don't. Like, they make a law because it helps them. And if you ask them, they will even tell you that. Congress people tell you that. They go, no, we don't care about the Constitution. The judges will figure that one out. That's what they say. And they're actually right. Judges are supposed to figure that out. But our judges don't do that. So judges don't care about the Constitution. Judges don't care about the people. The assemblies care about the people because they're all gerrymandered. And they don't care about the Constitution. Somebody's got to. I'll take the governor. That's all I got. I'll take it. So to answer your question, Roy, in my view, yes. Absolutely, yes. Someone's got to. Someone's got to. So I'm going to go with yes. That's my view. I know some of you are probably mad at me, think I'm wrong. I'm going to go with yes. Yep. Cheyenne says, oh, this is different. Okay. Cops in Kentucky went to the wrong house, shot and killed a man. The cops say wait for the investigation to be complete. If it was an actual criminal, they'd be talking bad about him. Ooh. Yeah. They always do. And that's my point, right? And look, if cops are mad because some guy did something wrong and they want to talk trash about him, I get it. But then shouldn't I be able to talk trash too? Right? I should do so also. Right? So, anyway, let me grab another super chat if I could. Duke of Heck says, $5, thank you. All of Trump's cohorts who got convicted of breaking laws, also lawfare? No, I don't think that's true. I think some people absolutely should have been convicted and some shouldn't have. I don't know which ones are which, but yeah, the point here is, even if Trump was actually as bad as they said he was, he should have gone to jail, right? If he wasn't as bad as they said he was, why did they throw everything at him? And why did they then, in this specific case, convict him of 34 felonies when literally, I'm not making this up, literally, there is no victim. No victim. There's no one there saying, I lost my money, I was cheated, he lied to me. Nothing. There's no victim. Right? A lot of these other crimes, there's a victim. Somebody got cheated, somebody lost money, someone got hurt, there was some harm. That's a valid conviction. That's a valid crime, right? In this case, there's no victim. That's my issue. It's lawfare where there's no victim. I go back to the lawfare against Bobby Kennedy Jr. Who's the victim in him getting on the ballot? Who's the victim? There is none. The victim is Democrats will be mad. That's the victim? There's no victim in that. The victim was when the judge said off the ballot, the judge took away the freedom of speech and the voting rights of 145,000 New Yorkers. What the judge did created 145,000 victims. What Bobby Kennedy did created no victims. None, not one. That's lawfare. So in the case, in Trump's case specifically, there's no victims. So no, it's bullshit, right? The issue is if there's a victim, then there's a crime. That's not lawfare. There's a crime. There's a victim. There's a victim here. That's the problem. I hope that's clearer, if that makes any sense. I hope that was clearer. So anyway, all righty. Let's see if I can get down here if I could. The Liberty Lady says, Sharpies, please tell me that you followed Larry on Rumble at Larry Sharpe. Please help his channel over there, even if he watch somewhere else. Well, I'm trying to get to 300 over there. So if we get 300, it'd be great. I'm like at 280 something, I think, right now. Be great if you guys go over there. And if you're on Rumble, click the follow. Be nice. Even if you don't watch on Rumble, it's just nice. That'd be nice. So if you can do that, I do appreciate that. And Cheyenne goes going to go Lima in Indigo. Oh, Indigo? All right. I do Indigo. Kilo Echo. I like India, but I'll do Indigo too. Doesn't matter. All of them are good. I'll take it. It doesn't matter. I'll take it. Mike says, like news media, public trust in the legal system has been destroyed by lawfare and political manipulations. True. From the Biden laptop to Russia, and pardons to Trump charges and sentencing, nothing to trust. Accurate statements, Mike. Accurate statements. And if we just don't trust it and don't make actual change, this will be bad for our country. This will be bad. If we take it and go, I'm scared, let's make some changes, this will be good for our country. I don't know which one's going to happen right now. That's my problem. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the issue. So, yes. Let's see here. Robert says they had evidence that Stormy Daniels received payments from Trump, and they had the evidence that the exact amounts of money was attributed to other expenses. As of a falsified. Okay, but who's the victim? Did someone not get paid? That is my question. Did someone not get paid? So instead of saying other expenses, he should have said legal expenses. Okay, then change it. So your punishment should be a fine and then change it. Why are you convicted of 34 felonies? I'm not saying do something wrong or incorrect. Okay. I go back to RFK. If you think he had the wrong address, I'll buy that. He had the wrong address. What's the punishment? Charge him a fee, a fine for making an error, and then put the right address. Okay. If Trump put the wrong attribution, okay, charge him a fee, change it. Why is this 34 felonies? There's no difference if I'm caught speeding, I'm going 10 miles over the speed limit, and a cop pulls me out and puts a bullet in my head. What's wrong with you? No, give me the fine or the fee. Whatever it is, I went 10 miles over the speed limit. Here's your ticket, pay your fine. Okay. It's insane. This idea that some people have that, well, he broke the law. The law's shit. Clearly. It's shit. We know this. We see it. So much of it is. But without laws, we've had enough laws on the books for probably 300 years. Well, got rid of slavery, so 150 years. 150 years probably. Oh, yeah, women voting. Okay, 100 years. Fine, 100 years. We've had enough laws on the books for 100 years. What about murder? We've had murder in the books since Hammurabi. So like 3,000, 4,000 years. We've had murder on the books. We're good. Theft, 4,000 years. We're good. I don't require 600 new laws, which is what New York State did last year, according to my governor. I didn't actually check. That's according to her. It's insanely stupid. It drives me crazy. So anyway, sorry. You guys get me going sometimes. This idea of just because it's a law makes it good. No, it doesn't. Kate says the defense gets screwed with gag orders. Yep. The state should apply a gag order to the state. Yes. Sheer manipulation, in my opinion, when the DA can say anything they want and face no repercussions. Correct. Yes. Utterly correct. Yes. 100%. All righty. The AC says, I don't know. I know this is for me, maybe. It says it wasn't pictured as being that way, but other two branches have failed to keep the courts in check. That's true. Yes. No one keeps track of judges. They do whatever they want. Yes. Cheyenne says judges rule over people, not about the two branches of government. Judges, yes, and they're supposed to rule over the branches of government. They're supposed to. That's what checks and balances are for. Literally. That's what checks and balances are for. Right? So if the president or governor does something stupid, too stupid, 2/3 of the legislature can veto it, right? Can stop it. So yeah, they can overturn his veto. Yeah, that's what's happened. And he can veto them. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. And the judges can say these laws, they're no good. They're bad laws. We're not going to follow them. We're going to get rid of them. Yeah, They're supposed to fight each other. That's the whole plan. And they aren't doing it. They're supposed to. That's literally the entire plan. Yes. The AC says, we're trying to evict our tenant, and the judge took pity on our tenant and totally helped him out, even though he's not supposed to. For some reason, judges, when they want to, can do that stuff, can't they? I'm not saying you should or should not. I don't know your situation. But my point is, so sometimes they can. Why not now? Guys, I'm going to ask you if I could click that button known as Lima, India, or Indigo, Kilo Echo. You know what I'm talking about. It does matter. And as I said before, make sure we remember this, guys. Next Tuesday, for those of you who care, if you can be in New York, if you happen to be in the Albany area, I will be there at 10 a.m. is when it begins. It is a Maha action event next Tuesday, January 14th, 10 a.m. in Albany, New York. I will be there. Go to teachersforchoice.org. The link is right there. And also in the description, both YouTube and Facebook, click on that to see what's going on. I will be there yapping away about some cool stuff. You can meet me, and also my daughter will be there. So you can meet both of us. Maybe we'll have lunch together or something. Do something cool. Maybe. Or maybe not if you guys don't show. But if you show, I'll be there. Please check it out if you can. Remember, tomorrow, my AMA, when it comes to YouTube, Facebook, and X only, it will be on Sharpe Way, those three. And then the day later, Sunday, I will put it up as a video on Larry Sharpe for those three. But it will also still be on Rumble and Vimeo live still. Though if you're Rumble, you're good. Don't change anything if you're on Rumble. Don't change anything if you're on Vimeo. If you're on Getter, that still goes off in those no matter what, always. Yes, I'm on Getter. Be like, Getter? I am actually on Getter too. Yep, I go live on that. So yes. Guys, I ask you all the time, though, please share and repost this. Super chats, as you know, go right to the front. I always appreciate the super chats. If you become a member, please do so. On YouTube, you can go on YouTube, click the join button. $49 per month gets a membership there. If you want to, you can go to Rumble and become a member there. Click the subscribe button only during the live. That'll get you membership over there. Each one's $49 per month. You might go, Larry, do I really want to spend $49 per month for you? Yes. What are you, crazy? Two things. One, I'm insanely good looking. So that's one thing right there. You get that. That's the one advantage. But the second thing is I'm giving you, what I'm giving you is insight that you are not hearing anyplace else. That's correct. I'm giving you insights. And what other, please tell me, what other politically leaning show goes on every night, well, almost every night, around 7, not always at 7, but around 7, and takes live comments back and forth? You searching for that one? And I'm funny on top of it. That's worth $5. Come on. That's worth $5. $49 per month to make that happen so I can spend more time doing this, less time working so I can actually show up on time. That's the problem. As I work, I don't always show up on time. But I'm usually on time. More members, more on time. There's the advantage for that one. So there we go. See, that's my pitch. Here is actually my pitch. If you subscribe or follow, free, doesn't cost you a thing. The more people who subscribe and follow, the more I see that grow, the more the team gets excited and wants to move forward. We do a weekly meeting, the team and I. Every Monday, we do a weekly meeting, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's true. And we talk about these things. And when things aren't growing, it makes us feel bad. It affects us in the feels. It does. But when things are growing, we start feeling better. And as we start feeling better, we have more ideas, have more changes, things get better. If you've noticed things have been changing recently, why? Because we've been having a big push up in subscribers, a big push up in membership. The team gets excited. We do more cool things. So it does matter. So my request is, if you can't swing $5 a month, I get it. No worries. But you can swing a subscription. That's free. And you can swing following. That's free. You can swing that. I know you can. And you can swing a like. I know you can. Those three, no matter what, you could swing. So please do that. It does matter. It keeps us all motivated and excited. So yes. Kate goes on to say the Cash for Kids scandal. Look it up. Tales of evil to a whole new level. Correct. That was the guy. Thank you. Cash for Kids. That was a judge who literally ruined children's lives. Literally for money, and he got pardoned. So why would they think there's going to be some kind of issue or something? No, they're not going to care at all. They don't care at all. So, all righty. Phil says Hillary did the same thing and got a fine. Yes. That's to be forward. He may have done this bad thing. I got it. I'm not saying he didn't. Then fine him. Hey, The fine is whatever, $200, whatever the fine is. They have some kind of fine. Here's $200. You did 34 times. $200 times 34, right? That's $700. Is that right? 70, whatever it is. 17 something dollars, whatever that is. Pay that fine. Change it now and resubmit. We're good. That's it. What's the problem? What's the problem? Kate, thank you for the $5. Rep, is it pronounced Chuy Garcia? Passed one bill to make lynching illegal, which is also murder and already illegal. A lot of these bills are vanity. Yes, this is a thing. Now, look, I know people do a lot of stuff, but nobody, this is another thing I'm going to give you, Kathy Hoke was the best at. There is literally not a person in the country right now who is better at making illegal things illegaler. Lots of them do it. You're right, Kate. I'm sure this guy Garcia, I'm sure he's like, hey, I'm going to do a cool thing, like another law. But what's happening is now they'll charge someone with two different charges. They'll charge with murder and lynching. Okay, you murdered a guy. I don't require another charge. It's not required, right? Murder's, that's the worst one we got. So that's how that works. But no, you're right. It's vanity. It's what I always say. It's virtue signaling. It's virtue signaling. That's the issue. It is virtue signaling. It drives me crazy, but it totally is. So, yeah. All righty. Let me go through some more of these if I could. I do appreciate that, by the way. I do. All righty. Okay. Christine says, we all get judged in the end. I'd be very afraid if I were him. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Oh, what happened to my, hold on. What happened to, let me switch this real fast. Okay, there we go. Is my camera, it's not my camera. Let me read my camera real fast. Hold on. It looks like my camera just slowed down. All righty. Is that better? There we go. All right. My camera just all of a sudden decided to shut down. It didn't love me all of a sudden. I don't know why I did that, but it did that. Yes. All righty. So let me kind of grab here. The AC says you can say grape. Yes, I could say grape. I guess that's better. Maybe I'll say grape next time. I just know I get scared because I know that I just say one bad thing and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're done. You're done. There we go. Christine says, keep your nose clean, Larry. I'm going to have to. I am going to have to. Yeah. If I don't, I'm really going to be in trouble. 100%. So, all righty. JM84 says death row. Yes, it was death row. Yes, that was the problem. It was. I think that was Illinois. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was Illinois. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Kitty, how are you? Thank you for the thank you for being a member. Case by case basis, at an individual level, not believe all women. I'm an abuse survivor, and so is my mom. I do not believe Amber Heard was victimized by Johnny Depp. Women can abuse and lie just the same. This point is critical. This point is absolutely critical. You are right. The Me Too was important. Don't get me wrong. It was important. It just went so far that the backlash is going to hurt women who are actually hurt, who are actually abused, who were actually raped. Yes, they were actually had that situation. Yes, they were. That's the issue. You're totally correct. And people like Amber Heard make everything worse. They wreck it for other people, right? They wreck it for others. Hold on. They wreck it for others, and that's one of the bigger issues. So, all righty. Mike says, I've arguments with people saying about how they can't get a job if they're a felon. Well, for president, it's not a requirement. It depends on the job and their policy. This is the one part where I hope it begins to help. I hope it does. And that is, if we are able to look at this whole thing differently because of him being a felon, and it makes other felons, I guess, easier accepted, perhaps, and it allows more of them to have a chance at changing their life, that could be an advantage. I hope that happens. As you guys know, my mom was a felon, and she had to lie on all her forms, because if she didn't lie on her forms, they wouldn't hire her. And the worst part about it, I told you before, but for those of you who haven't heard it, the problem here is the problem my mom had. When my mom got out of prison, I got her an apartment and a used car so she can get her life in gear. I was her support structure. She had to lie on all of her forms and say she wasn't a felon because she can get a job. The problem was, once she got the job, sometimes they would still do a background check afterwards, sometimes not. And she was afraid. She was so afraid that some people wouldn't actually hire her at all because she was a felon. So once she had a job, she was basically a hostage because she wasn't going to push back or ask for any money, because if she got fired, there may not be any other job for her. I hated that. That made me so angry that my mom was a hostage. That was the reason why I started my first business. True story. Those, some of you may know the story, but true story. I'm so mad. I think to myself, how in the hell can I make it to where my mom isn't a hostage? How do I do that? And I thought, well, if she owns the company, then she can't be fired. That's the answer. She can't be fired. So I said, I'm gonna start a business. And my mom had I had married someone already. She had a stepdad. I had a stepdad at that point. I was like 30 when I had a stepdad. So anyway, so I had that. And I said, we're gonna start a business, trucking business. We're gonna buy a truck. And then look at the laws in New York State, which at the time I think was, remember, I don't know if it's still true, but I think it was, if you had a 24-foot box truck or smaller, you didn't require a commercial driver's license, which my mom couldn't get because she was a felon. So I think we did like whatever the max. I think it was 24. We bought the biggest truck we could legally and said, that's the one we got. We're gonna start a trucking company. And I said, my mom's gonna be a 100% owner. And my stepdad was like, what about me? I said, no. What about you? I said, no. My mom's 100% owner. Well, what about us? I said, no. We agree to my mom being 100% owner, or I'm out. We're not doing it. And he's like, well, I can't do without you. I said, then she's 100% owner. And he said, okay. And people said, why? My mom was 100% owner. No one will ever fire her again. Never. She's 100% owner. So that is what got my mom out of being a hostage. And she ran that business until she retired. That was it. That was what I wanted for my mom. I did not want her to ever be a hostage ever again. And that was my first foray into entrepreneurialism. That's it. So yes. Mike says, it's your video RAM on your computer too much. No video games for the show. I wish I was playing more video games, Mike. I wish I was. I need to chill out and play more video games. I don't play enough. That's my problem. So yeah, I wish that was true. I'm too damn busy to be forward. And that's why I'm often late on this, right? That's the problem. I'm often late because of that. So yeah, it's a pain. So anyway, let me see if I can grab this here. Kate says, Governor George Ryan went to prison because he sold driver's licenses illegal to people here, illegally, who could not drive commercial vehicles, and killed people. There we go. And then why Liberty says, Sharpe Gaming coming soon. Look, Mike does that, by the way. Mike games. If you go over to his Old Man Boss show, he does game. He absolutely does. So maybe I should. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I should. There we go. Evan Overneck says, it's so sad that people can do their time and then be forced back into their old life because they can't find gainful employment. While we want to limit people's choices, they try to start over because we want to put them back in jail because there's money in it. That's the reason, Evan. I wish that wasn't true. Here's the thing to remember. There is a magic number, and we should all memorize it. That magic number for felons is 5. If a felon is able to find gainful employment for 5 years, that's the number, 5 years, then they are literally less likely to commit a crime than someone who's never convicted. That's it. They become safer if they can work for 5 years. That's the piece. So you are correct. But there's money in that. There's money in putting them back in jail. So that's why. But no, that's the issue. So, all right, where was I? I hope I covered that piece. All good. Guys, I want to say that tomorrow I will be on at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, that will be my, as I mentioned before, that will be my AMA. The AMA will be on YouTube, Facebook, and X, Sharpe Way, and everything else normally. But just for those 3, YouTube, Facebook, and X, they'll all be on Sharpe Way. They'll be live. And then the recorded will come out the day after. So if you can shift over to Sharpe Way, that would be better for us to kind of put everything together. I hope that would be great. Guys, I'm going to let you all run. I appreciate all the time you gave me. I'll be back tomorrow at 7. And by the way, before we are done, at the end of this, I should say, at the end of this, when we are done, at the end, please come back and leave a comment. You guys know I respond to them, right? I do respond to them all the time, right? I do respond. And if you want to, please tell me what you think is the cheesiest or silliest law that we have in the books. The silliest or cheesiest law we have in the books. I will see you all very soon.